Alright, come on in, hit the like button, think about subscribing if you have not already. If you're new here, welcome to the channel, but most importantly, welcome to the Berserker family. So this is my honest opinion / review for the 2026 horror sci-fi film called Cold Storage. Here is the plot. Two employees at a self-storage company have the wildest shift of their lives when a parasitic fungus that was sealed by the government escapes. Here are some of the casts. This has to be the second most weirdest outbreak zombie-like film I've ever seen, next to obvious number one, The Fever Dream, that was the 1984 film Night of the Comet. But again, this film was super bizarre, but definitely fun. The subtle layer of comedy made it fun, but was also annoying when it came to the two characters, specifically Joe Carey's character. The guy wouldn't shut up the whole time. He was just constantly talking, and it was also the problem with when he was doing that, he was doing it fast, so I couldn't understand a certain amount of stuff he was saying. There was definitely slightly poor CGI layering that I'm honestly not fully upset about. I kind of expected going into it, but I didn't think it would fit as well as it did. Because it and the whole color filters and lighting made me think of the films from the 80s and very early 90s. It definitely felt like that was what they were going for in the first place. It felt strongly inspired by the 80s and super early sci-fi horror, early sci-fi horror films from the 80s and 90s, such as Return of the Dead, and I believe that came out in the very late 80s or the very, very early 90s. And I don't know if that's the remake one or not, but whatever. And of course, Night of the Comet. Because of the effects and color grading. Here's my rating, I'll come up with my final thoughts. I will honestly say that this was possibly a forgettable film. It's one of those films that it's fun, it's awesome, it brings you back to the old days, or even the old ones that are just classics that are B films, like The Night of the Comet, are in a way forgettable, but also they're not. But they'll what I mean by forgettable in general, though, is they'll slip underneath like all these other films, that because they're, especially nowadays, they're constantly shoving them out constantly per year. It's definitely going to go on the rug, but I definitely do check them out, recommend you check it out if you are into B films, if you are into sci-fi films, if you're into like the old nostalgia 80s, 70s, early 90s type of B film, horror, sci-fi film type of stuff. It definitely has a feel to it while having a little bit of a more perky HD look to it, if you know what I mean. It doesn't have that graining effect to it, but it definitely has that green and kind of yellowish lighting and red and all that stuff. It's just, you'll watch it and you'll see. It makes sense. But yeah, so if you've seen it or you haven't seen it, leave your thoughts down below. Until the next time, remember, I love you all. Please stay safe. Spread the love, most importantly. Skull.